Naming your wine after
Something
a vehicle that
wasn't quite
blew up.
successful.
It's an interesting
That
choice.
that was the Hindenburg specifically.
Yes, it was the Hindenburg specifically, but there was a slight problem with the gas that they filled it being kind of a bit bangy.
However, this is incredibly Art Deco and wonderful.
Yes.
So this is a quite a big producer, Max Ferdinand Richter. But you don't actually usually see this, which is his
Zeppelin.
regular Qualitätswein Mosel Riesling. So it's not in the Predicat system where you've got like Cabinet and Spätlese. It's not in that official hierarchy. It's the one below. So it's like the Bourgogne equivalent in the Mosel, basically. It's just the unofficial off-dry base wine that perfectly shows what Mosel does really well, and it's usually incredibly affordable. I will say that this is more expensive than Lausanne's one, which is like 12.
Yeah.
But I think this one has a bit more depth to it.
10.5% booze on this. A very, very nice label. We do like the label. It's very pretty. The problem is that there's also this sort of descending Zeppelin.
Yeah, which is a bit menacing and slightly redolent of a certain disaster.
Yes.
The wine is not that, although however much the art may,
be a little 1950s liqueur.
Plant that seed, yeah.
Not at all Nazi.
That's not like a 1950s liqueur. It's like a Belle Epoque music hall poster.
There we go.
From Alphonse Mucha crossed with
J.C.
Leyendecker.
You could be just making up names for all I know now. This is not my period of
making up.
Yeah, this is not my period of expertise.
Anyway, you're getting the classic thing, which is honey, green apples, and petrol.
Yes,
and that's
plasticine more than petrol.
You think so?
It's got that sort of plasticine that's been,
Play-Doh.
No, I'm getting plasticine. It's that plasticine that is sort of
no,
like
you're right. It's not quite
been smeared with children's dirty hands.
You're right. It's not quite gasoline-y enough. It's a touch more subdued.
Yeah,
but there is still that lovely whiff of industry there.
it's creamy. It's got that sweetness there. It's got that lack of alcohol there.
For me, I would like that to just be a touch more off-dry.
You want a bit more sweetness there?
Just a tiny bit more. So, I mean, and that's why, and if like, let's say 9.5% alcohol. 9 is the sweet spot for me, I think.
Right, okay.
That's the perfect amount of residual sugar for me, I think. Because, sugar fermenting into alcohol, blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
So I think that 9% is perfect for me. This I really like. My only concern is it's maybe not off-dry or dry enough that it is understandable to people. It's a bit too close to a Trocken, but not quite enough there.
Yeah, it's in
but
this...
then it doesn't quite off-dry.
It's in a no man's land.
It really is. It's in a vacuum.
Which is I understand why it's problematic for you. But
why does it have to be problematic? It's doing its own thing,
But I think what this is very good. I think it's a very good gastronomic wine. I think you put that with food, and you're not going to notice that.
No,
because it gives you that sort of slightly sweeter nudge that you might want, particularly for some spicy foods, without it being a sweet wine. Yeah. And I think that sort of nice sort of place in the middle where it's not in any way, shape or form going too dry or too sweet, would make it a very flexible wine for food.
That's true.
On its own, it does seem a little bit disjointed.
There's just a bit of... That's what my problem is. It's only technically problematic insofar as that it doesn't fit into the categories of Trocken and clearly off-dry. That doesn't have to be a problem. However, I also agree with you that the wine itself is just... What are you?
Yeah.
There's not enough sugar to smooth everything out. There's not quite enough acid to sort of
dryness to sort of ignore the sugar.
So I think it's less a sort of stylistic preference and more actually what slightly either way would actually make it a more balanced wine.
It's ploughing its own furrow.
It is ploughing its own furrow, and as always, wine should be put with food, and that's not a criticism. That's actually a compliment.
So we like it.
Yeah.
But in a weird way.
I'm just making it way more difficult to understand than it should be. However, I just like a slightly sweeter.
That's why you're paid.
Yes.
Have a lovely day.